This is Mr. Eugene, and today I'm addressing the single most destructive framework operating in modern relationships. A belief system so deeply embedded in female psychology and so aggressively reinforced by culture that it makes rational problem-solving impossible, accountability impossible, and healthy marriage impossible. The framework is this: women's feelings are ultimate truth. Women's feelings are ultimate authority. Women's feelings override facts, logic, agreements, and reality itself. If she feels attacked, you attacked her, even if you didn't, even if you were calm and respectful. Her feeling is treated as fact. If she feels disrespected, you disrespected her. Even if your behavior was objectively respectful, her feeling overrides observable reality. If she feels unloved, you don't love her, even if you demonstrate love daily through actions. Her feeling trumps your actual behavior. This feelings as truth framework is destroying marriages systematically, because you cannot solve problems when one person's subjective emotions override objective reality. You cannot have accountability when feelings erase facts. You cannot have partnership when one person's internal state determines what's true. And here's what makes this catastrophic culture aggressively validates this framework. Therapy reinforces it. Women's support networks amplify it. Men are taught to accept it without question. Her feelings are valid. This true statement gets twisted into her feelings are accurate descriptions of reality, and once feelings become facts, marriage becomes impossible. Today I'm breaking down how this framework operates, why it's psychologically destructive, how it makes problem solving impossible, and why marriages cannot survive when feelings trump reality. This will make people furious, especially women whose entire worldview depends on their feelings being treated as ultimate truth. But fury doesn't make truth less true. Stay with me. Understanding this framework is critical to understanding why modern marriages fail. The framework, how feelings became truth. Let me show you exactly how this destructive framework operates and where it comes from. The core belief: feelings equal facts. The fundamental belief driving this is, if I feel it, it's true. She feels attacked, therefore she was attacked. She feels disrespected, therefore she was disrespected. She feels unloved, therefore she's not loved. She feels afraid, therefore she's in danger. She feels unappreciated, therefore she's not appreciated. The feeling is treated as direct, accurate perception of reality, not as information about her internal state, not as something to be examined, as fact. This is catastrophically wrong. Feelings are information about your internal state, your interpretations, your triggers, your past experiences. They are not accurate descriptions of external reality. You can feel attacked when nobody attacked you. You can feel disrespected when someone treated you respectfully. You can feel unloved when someone loves you deeply. Feelings are real, but they're not necessarily accurate. Where this comes from, this framework is culturally programmed into women from childhood. Your feelings matter. True statement. Gets twisted into your feelings are always valid. Gets further twisted into your feelings are always accurate. Trust your feelings. Sometimes good advice. Gets twisted into your feelings are infallible truth detectors. If something feels wrong, it is wrong. Sometimes protective. Gets twisted into your emotional response defines reality. Therapy culture amplifies this. Your feelings are valid becomes the standard response to any emotional experience, without the critical follow-up. But are your feelings accurate? Women's support networks reinforce it. If he made you feel that way, he's wrong. No examination of whether her feeling accurately reflects what happened. The result: women reach adulthood believing their feelings are ultimate authority on what's true and what's not. The cultural protection culture aggressively protects this framework. If you question a woman's feelings, you're invalidating her, you're gaslighting her, you're being emotionally abusive. If you point out her feelings don't match reality, you're mansplaining, you're dismissive, you're controlling. If you ask her to examine whether her feelings are accurate, you're making her doubt herself. You're manipulative, you're toxic. This protection makes the framework impossible to challenge. Any attempt to distinguish feelings from facts is treated as abuse. How this operates in marriage: the destruction. Let me show you exactly how feelings as truth destroys marriages through specific examples. Example 1, the phantom attack. He addresses a legitimate concern calmly. The credit card bill is really high this month. Can we talk about the spending? Calm tone, respectful words, legitimate issue, no attack whatsoever. She feels attacked. You're attacking me right now. You're making me feel terrible. Now the issue isn't the spending, it's that he attacked her, even though objectively, observably, he didn't. Her feeling of being attacked becomes the truth. His actual behavior becomes irrelevant. He ends up apologizing. I'm sorry I made you feel attacked. The spending never gets addressed because her feeling that she was attacked trumped the reality that she wasn't. Example 2. The imaginary disrespect. He disagrees with her opinion about something. Respectfully, clearly, with good reasons, she feels disrespected. You're so disrespectful to me. You always dismiss my opinions. He didn't dismiss her. He disagreed with her. These are completely different things. But her feeling of being disrespected becomes the truth. His actual behavior disagreeing respectfully becomes disrespect. Now they can't have disagreements, because any disagreement makes her feel disrespected, and her feeling defines reality. So he stops disagreeing, stops sharing contrary opinions. The relationship becomes one-sided because her feelings trump the right to disagree. Example 3. The false unlove. He works 60 hours a week to provide for the family, pays all the bills, maintains the house, spends his free time with family, shows up consistently for 15 years. She feels unloved. You don't love me. I don't feel loved. All evidence contradicts this feeling. His entire life demonstrates love through action, but her feeling becomes truth. If I don't feel loved, I'm not loved. Now he's labeled as unloving despite 15 years of loving behavior because her feeling overrides his actions. Example 4. The manufactured crisis. He's at work during a normal workday, responding to work emails, doing his job. She texts him a question. He responds 2 hours later because he was in meetings. She feels ignored and abandoned. You ignore me. You don't care about me. I feel so abandoned when you don't respond. He was working, doing what he's supposed to do, providing for the family. But her feeling of abandonment becomes truth. His reasonable work behavior becomes ignoring and abandoning. Now he's supposed to drop work to respond immediately because her feeling defines what's acceptable behavior. Example 5. The emotional hostage. He wants to visit his parents for a weekend. She doesn't want to go. He says, "That's fine. You don't have to come. I'll go by myself." She feels rejected and hurt. You're choosing your parents over me. You don't want to be with me. I feel so rejected. He's not rejecting her. He's accepting her decision not to go and still maintaining his relationship with his parents. But her feeling of rejection becomes truth. His reasonable response becomes choosing parents over her. Now he can't visit his parents without her because her feeling overrides his right to maintain family relationships. Why feelings as truth makes problem solving impossible. Let me show you why this framework destroys the ability to solve actual problems. You can't address real issues when feelings override facts. Real issues can't be addressed. Real issue. She overspent by $3,000. Her feeling, "You're attacking me," result. Overspending continues because addressing it attacks her real issue. She disrespects him publicly. Her feeling, "You're trying to control me," result. Disrespect continues because addressing it is controlling real issue. Dead bedroom, no intimacy. Her feeling, "You're pressuring me," result. Dead bedroom continues because addressing it is pressure. Every real problem becomes impossible to solve because bringing it up triggers a feeling, and her feeling becomes the issue rather than the actual problem. The moving goalposts. When feelings define truth, goalposts move constantly. Monday, he does 10th, she's happy. Tuesday, he does 10th, she feels upset. X is now wrong. Wednesday, he doesn't do 10th, she feels abandoned. Not doing X is now wrong. The same behavior produces different feelings on different days, and her feelings determine what's acceptable. So he can never learn what's actually right or wrong, because it changes based on her emotional state that day. This is crazy making. He's trying to hit a target that moves based on her feelings, the impossible standard. If her feelings define reality, he can never prove anything contrary to her feelings. She feels unloved. He demonstrates love. She still feels unloved. His demonstration doesn't matter because her feeling is truth. She feels disrespected. He shows respect. She still feels disrespected. His behavior doesn't matter because her feeling is truth. She feels abandoned. He's constantly present. She still feels abandoned. His presence doesn't matter because her feeling is truth. He cannot win, cannot prove, cannot demonstrate, because her feelings override all evidence. The accountability shield. When feelings are truth, accountability becomes impossible. Her behavior causes problem. He addresses it. She feels attacked. Now he's the problem for attacking her. Her original behavior never gets addressed. The feelings as truth framework functions as complete immunity from accountability. Any attempt to address her behavior triggers a feeling that becomes the new focus. She's protected from ever examining or changing her behavior because her feelings provide impenetrable shield. The psychological damage to men. Let me show you what this does to men over time. He doubts his own perceptions. After years of his reality being overridden by her feelings, He starts doubting his own perceptions. Did I attack her? I thought I was calm, but she says I attacked her. Maybe I did? Am I being disrespectful? I thought I was just disagreeing, but she says I'm dismissive. Maybe I am? Am I unloving? I work hard and provide everything, but she says I don't love her. Maybe I don't? This creates profound psychological confusion. He can no longer trust his own perceptions, memory, or judgment. This is what gaslighting actually is, making someone doubt their perception of reality. And feelings as truth gaslights men systematically. He becomes hyper-vigilant about her emotions. He learns that her emotional state determines reality, so he becomes obsessed with managing her emotions, constantly monitoring her mood, walking on eggshells to avoid triggering feelings, censoring his words and actions based on potential emotional reactions, living in constant anxiety about her emotional state. This is exhausting, psychologically devastating. He's not living his own life. He's managing her emotional landscape. He loses his voice. If any expression of concerns triggers feelings that override the concerns, he stops expressing concerns, stops addressing problems, stops sharing opinions that might upset her, stops disagreeing even when she's wrong, stops having any voice in the relationship. He becomes silent, withdrawn, has opinions but doesn't share them, sees problems but doesn't mention them, not because he's passive, because he's been trained that his voice doesn't matter when it conflicts with her feelings. He becomes resentful years of having his reality invalidated, his concerns dismissed, and his perceptions overridden, creates massive resentment. Resentment at living in her emotional reality instead of objective reality, resentment at being blamed for things he didn't do, resentment at being unable to address real problems, resentment at being psychologically gaslighted for years. This resentment builds silently, accumulates, destroys his love for her. By the time she notices his resentment, it's years deep, unresolvable. The marriage is dead. He checks out completely. Eventually, many men just check out, stop caring about her feelings since they override reality anyway, stop trying to communicate since it's impossible. Stop investing emotionally since it's pointless, just exist in the marriage without really participating. She created the emotionally dead husband through years of feelings as truth framework. Why feelings aren't facts. The reality check. Let me explain clearly why feelings cannot be treated as truth. Feelings are influenced by many factors. Your feelings at any moment are influenced by your current hormone levels, time of month, stress hormones, etc., your physical state, hunger, tiredness, illness, your past experiences and triggers your current stress from unrelated sources, your interpretations and assumptions, your expectations and desires. None of these factors make your feelings accurate descriptions of current reality. You can feel attacked because you're premenstrual and irritable, not because someone attacked you. You can feel unloved because your father never showed affection, not because your husband doesn't love you. You can feel disrespected because you're exhausted, not because someone disrespected you. Feelings are real, but they're often about you, not about external reality. People can feel opposite things about same situation. Two people can have completely opposite feelings about identical situations. She feels disrespected when he disagrees with her. He feels disrespected when she won't listen to his perspective. If both feelings are treated as truth, both people disrespected each other, but maybe neither actually did. Maybe both just felt disrespected because of their own triggers and interpretations. When feelings equal facts, whose feelings win? Both can't be truth if they're contradictory. Feelings change. Reality doesn't. You can feel one way on Monday and opposite way on Wednesday about the same situation. Monday, feel loved and secure Tuesday. Same behavior from husband, feel unloved and insecure Wednesday. Same behavior from husband, feel loved and appreciated. His behavior didn't change. Your feelings changed. Feelings are variable. Reality is constant. Treating variable feelings as constant truth creates chaos. Feelings can be manipulated if feelings equal truth. People can manipulate reality by manipulating their feelings. She wants to avoid accountability for bad behavior, triggers feeling of being attacked, claims she was attacked, avoids accountability. This is why feelings as truth is dangerous. It allows emotional manipulation to override facts, what marriages actually require. Let me show you what marriages need instead of feelings as truth framework. Feelings are information, not truth. Feelings should be treated as information about your internal state, something to examine, not something to automatically accept as accurate. She feels attacked. Examine, was I actually attacked or am I feeling defensive about legitimate criticism? She feels disrespected. Examine, was I actually disrespected or am I triggered by disagreement? She feels unloved. Examine. Am I actually unloved, or am I not receiving love in the specific way I prefer? This examination distinguishes real issues from emotional reactions. But women resist this examination. You're making me doubt my feelings, is the defense. No. Examining whether feelings accurately reflect reality is basic emotional intelligence. Objective behavior matters more than subjective feelings in marriage. Objective behavior should be evaluated objectively, not through the filter of feelings. Did he actually attack you? What words did he use? What was his tone? What did he actually say? This is objective, not how did you feel, because feelings can be triggered by anything, including things that aren't attacks. Did he actually disrespect you? What specific behavior occurred? What was the context? This is objective, not did you feel disrespected, because you can feel disrespected by respectful disagreement. Objective evaluation of behavior is essential. Feelings alone cannot determine what happened. Both people's perceptions matter in healthy marriage. Both people's perceptions and experiences matter equally. His perception of what happened matters as much as her feeling about what happened. If he says, I addressed the budget concern calmly, and she says, I felt attacked, both statements need to be examined. Not her feeling automatically wins, not her feeling defines what happened. Both perceptions get weighed, evidence gets examined, reality gets established. But in feelings as truth framework, only her perception matters. His is dismissed if it contradicts her feelings. Accountability requires facts, not feelings. To have accountability in marriage, you need objective facts, not just feelings. Fact, she spent $3,000 over budget. This is accountable behavior regardless of how she feels about being told. Not, she feels attacked when told. Her feeling doesn't erase the factual overspending. Fact, she disrespected him publicly. This is accountable behavior regardless of how she feels about being confronted. Not, she feels controlled when confronted. Her feeling doesn't erase the factual disrespect. Accountability requires agreeing on what actually happened based on facts, not on how someone feels about being held accountable. Real examples. The framework destroying marriages. Let me show you how feelings as truth destroys marriages in practice. Example 1, the financial destruction she overspends consistently. Thousands over budget monthly. He tries to address it. Attempt 1, we're $2,000 over budget this month. Her feeling, you're attacking me. Result, apologizes for attacking, spending continues. Attempt 2, we really need to stick to the budget. Her feeling, you're trying to control me. Result, backs off to avoid being controlling, spending continues. Attempt 3, we're going into debt because of the overspending. Her feeling, you're making me feel terrible about myself. Result, comforts her for feeling bad, spending continues. 5 years later, $45,000 in credit card debt. She bankrupted the family. But he could never address it because every attempt triggered feelings that became the issue. Her feelings as truth framework destroyed their financial future. Example 2, the respect destruction. She disrespects him constantly. In front of friends, family, children, undermines him publicly. He addresses it, please don't contradict me in front of the kids. It undermines my authority. Her feeling, you're trying to control how I parent. Result, her disrespect continues, framed as him being controlling. He tries again. When you roll your eyes at me in front of your parents, it's disrespectful. Her feeling, you're trying to come between me and my family. Result, her disrespect continues, framed as him causing family problems. 10 years later, children don't respect him. Friends make jokes about him being henpecked. He has zero authority in his own home. But he could never address her disrespect because every attempt triggered feelings that overrode the actual disrespect. Her feelings as truth framework destroyed his authority and dignity. Example 3, the intimacy destruction dead bedroom. She rejects him constantly. He tries to address the lack of intimacy. Attempt, we haven't been intimate in 2 months. I'm feeling disconnected. Her feeling, you're pressuring me. You're making me feel like just a body. Result, he backs off. Bedroom stays dead. Attempt, physical intimacy is important for our connection. Her feeling, you're saying I'm a bad wife. Result, he reassures her she's not bad. Intimacy doesn't improve. Attempt, this is affecting how I feel about our marriage. Her feeling, you're threatening me. Result, he's now the bad guy for expressing legitimate need. 15 years later, completely dead bedroom. He's resentful and checked out. She wonders why he's distant, but he could never address the intimacy crisis because every attempt triggered feelings that became accusations against him. Her feelings as truth framework killed their intimate connection. Why women defend this framework? Let me explain why women fight so hard to protect feelings as truth. It provides complete power. When your feelings define reality, you have complete power in the relationship. You control what's true. You control what's acceptable behavior. You control what can be discussed. You avoid all accountability. You win every disagreement. This power is intoxicating. Giving it up means accepting you don't control reality. That's terrifying for many women. It protects from accountability. Feelings as truth is the ultimate accountability shield. Any criticism triggers feeling of being attacked. Attack becomes the issue. Original criticism disappears. Any confrontation triggers feeling of being controlled. Control becomes the issue. Original behavior never addressed. This shield protects from ever examining or changing problematic behavior. Women who engage in destructive behavior desperately need this shield. It's been validated by everyone. Culture, therapy, support networks all validate this framework. Your feelings are valid. Heard thousands of times. Trust your feelings. Constantly reinforced. If he makes you feel bad, he's wrong. Universal message. Giving up this framework means rejecting what everyone has told them is truth. It makes them right. Always feelings as truth means never having to admit you're wrong. You felt attacked. Therefore you were attacked. You're right. You felt disrespected. Therefore you were disrespected. You're right. You felt afraid. Therefore you were in danger. You're right. Your feelings make you automatically right about everything. Who would give that up? What needs to change? Here's what must shift if marriages are going to survive. Women must distinguish feelings from facts. Women need to learn. I feel X is not the same as X is true. I feel attacked, not equal to I was attacked. I feel disrespected, not equal to I was disrespected. I feel unloved, not equal to I am unloved. Your feelings are real. But they're information about your internal state, not accurate descriptions of external reality. This requires humility, willingness to examine your own feelings critically. Accepting your feelings might be inaccurate. Most women resist this completely. But marriages cannot survive without it. Therapy must stop validating all feelings. Therapists need to stop with. Your feelings are valid as automatic response to every emotional experience. Start asking, you feel attacked. Was the behavior actually attacking, or are you feeling defensive about legitimate criticism? Start examining. You feel disrespected. What specifically happened? Could that behavior be interpreted differently? Validation without examination enables feelings as truth framework, destroys marriages. Men must stop accepting feelings as facts. Men need to stop accepting that her feelings define reality. She says she feels attacked. Don't automatically apologize. Ask, what specifically did I say that was attacking? She says she feels disrespected. Don't automatically back down. Ask, what behavior was disrespectful? I disagreed with you. That's not disrespect. She says she feels unloved. Don't automatically scramble to prove love. Say, I demonstrate love daily through actions. Your feeling doesn't match reality. Stop letting feelings override facts. Insist on objective evaluation of behavior. Objective behavior must be evaluated. Objectively, marriages need to evaluate behavior based on what actually happened, not how someone felt about it. What words were said? What tone was used? What actions occurred? What was the context? Not, how did you feel? Because feelings can be triggered by anything. This requires both people agreeing to examine facts, not just validate feelings. Final thoughts. The feelings as truth framework is destroying marriages systematically. When women's feelings are treated as ultimate truth and ultimate authority, when feelings override facts, logic, agreements, and reality itself, marriages cannot function. You cannot solve problems when feelings erase facts. You cannot have accountability when feelings provide immunity. You cannot have partnership when feelings control reality. You cannot have healthy marriage when one person's emotions define truth. This framework operates through specific patterns. Feelings are treated as accurate descriptions of reality. Objective behavior gets overridden by subjective feelings. Men's perceptions get dismissed when they contradict her feelings. Real problems can't be addressed because addressing them triggers feelings. Men get psychologically damaged through years of having their reality invalidated. The destruction is predictable. Real issues never get solved. Men doubt their own perceptions. Men become hypervigilant about her emotions. Men lose their voice completely. Men accumulate massive resentment. Men check out emotionally. Marriages die. This must change. Women must distinguish feelings from facts. Therapy must stop validating all feelings automatically. Men must stop accepting feelings as facts. Objective behavior must be evaluated. Objectively, feelings are real. Feelings matter. Feelings provide valuable information. But feelings are not facts. Feelings are not truth. Feelings cannot be ultimate authority in marriage. When feelings trump reality, marriage becomes impossible. Drop a comment. Men, have you experienced your reality being overridden by her feelings? Women, can you distinguish your feelings from facts? Subscribe for the truth about relationship dynamics that destroys the comfortable lies